And now to Burkina Faso, where the Congress for Democracy and Progress, CDP, the former ruling party of deposed President Blaise Compaore, held its ordinary Congress from Saturday, May 5 to Sunday, May 6. And that was held to appoint a new leader for the party. The leader will fly the party's colors in the presidential election due in the year 2020.
Et c'est Eddie Constant Komboigo.
And it's Eddie Constant who was elected to lead the party. He was elected with 6 votes ahead of his opponent, Burkinabe, the former Minister of Justice. The remaining 17 candidates withdrew before the election. And as Blaise Compaore, he was awarded a title founder and honorary president of the party. We'll review this political news with our correspondent in Ouagadougou, Saluka.
Avec notre correspondant à Ouagadougou, la capitale burkinabé, Saluka Bourema. Saluka, bonjour.
Good morning, Saluka.
Bonjour.
Alors, Saluka, le Congrès pour la démocratie.
The Congress for Democracy and Progress, CDP, the former party in power in Burkina Faso, held this weekend its first ordinary Congress since the fall of Blaise Compaore. What stood out in this meeting?
Bien, tout d'abord, il faut savoir que c'est un congrès qui a mis du temps.
First of all, it took a long time to hold a meeting. It had been announced several times since the fall of Compaore in October 2014, but each time it was postponed. And it was finally this weekend that it took place. It was a convention under great tension because the party's battle for control was fierce, raising fears that the CDP would crumble. There were up to 19 people, including 4 ministers of Compaore, who claimed to lead the party. And finally, the party elected Eddie. Finally, the party elected Eddie Constant, the CDP's unsuccessful candidate for the 2015 presidential elections. He had 39 votes and he beat the former Compaore minister, Burkinabe, who received 36 votes by a narrow margin. The other major thing that came out of this meeting was the absolute loyalty of members of the Congregation to Blaise Compaore, the former president.
Alors, on le rappelle, Saluka, de nombreux cadres et leaders du parti sont poursuivis en justice.
Many senior party officials and leaders are facing legal action for alleged cases of embezzlement and of public funds. Is the CDP still a major party on the national political scene in Burkina Faso?
La scène politique nationale au Burkina Faso, finalement.
It's true that the post-Compaore period has not at all been easy for many of his devout associates. The members of his last government were charged by the High Court. Others are being prosecuted for financial crimes or sought for their alleged involvement in General Drendere's attempted coup. All this made Compaore's supporters say they are victims of a witch hunt, especially since the CDP itself has been through a long desert crossing. Remember that under the transition, the party had been suspended for a time before being reinstated. The party had not been able to present a candidate to the presidential election of November 2015, which saw the election of President Compaore. Despite all these setbacks, the party has a good standing in the country. The party has gained momentum in the past few months and is... And final question. The leader of opposition, Zéphirine Diabré, member of the Union for Congress and Change, UPC, was a guest of honor at the opening of the 7th Ordinary Congress of the CDP. Can we see a sign of alliance or coalition between the two parties?
Indeed,
Zéphirine Diabré was seen alongside the CDP. The leader of the Burkinabe opposition had flattering words for the CDP, a party that he had helped to bring down 4 years ago, even suggesting possible alliances between his party, the Union for Progress and Change, and the CDP. in order to block the movement for people, for progress of President Compaore. The closeness of Diapré towards the CDP could also be interpreted as a reaction on his part against President Compaore's party, which he accuses of underground destabilization maneuvers by the UPC through poaching its deputies. But it's enough to suggest that CDP and UPC will now work together. It's too early to tell, but already there's rapprochement, and it seems to create panic in the ranks of the ruling party.
Alors effectivement, nous continuerons à suivre donc tous ces événements.
Well, we'll leave it at that, Saluka, and we'll obviously continue to follow events in Burkina Faso on Africanews. Thank you for your insights.
Merci à vous.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Do not forget that you can watch this broadcast in English or in French if you are on the Canal Sat network. Use the blue button on your remote control to change the settings. Now, we urge you to also share your stories with us. Tweet at us at African News in English and at African News FR in French. Again, at African News in English and at African News FR in French. Still ahead on the program, famous Senegalese sculptor Ousmane Sow transforms his collection into a museum accessible to the public. And what do we find in there? We show you this, plus stories from the world of business and sports when we return after the break.